Bodies of Ipoh shop house fire victims identified. Baseless accusations aimed at hurting Malaysia's palm oil sector. Good afternoon, I'm Jessica Lee and you're watching News on 2. The Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, expressed regret and disappointment over the riots at the Seafield Sri Maha Mariamman Temple in USJ 25, Subang Jaya, Selangor last month. He said the incident would not have happened if the people had respected the laws as well as the cultures, religions and sensitivities of the various races in the country.
Kita merasa amat besar dengan berlakunya kerusuhan seperti ini di negeri Selangor ini. Perkara seperti ini tidak seharusnya berlaku jika kita tahu menghormati undang-undang, budaya, agama dan sensitiviti pelbagai kaum di negara ini. Janganlah kita rosakkan segala yang telah kita bina.
The Sultan said this at a royal high tea reception in conjunction with his 73rd birthday at the Istana Alam Shah in Shah Alam, Selangor. In his speech, Sultan Sharafuddin said the people should realize that issues related to race and religion were sensitive and they must be careful not to question what had been agreed to and enshrined in the federal constitution. The Sultan further noted the mistrust and speculation among the various races of late, which had somehow affected harmony and unity among Malaysians, was attributed to the attitude of some individuals who were unaware of the social contract and did not care to know and understand the country's history. In a related development, Muhammad Adib Muhammad Qasim, the fireman who was severely injured after being attacked by a mob in the Sri Maha Mariamman Temple incident, no longer requires the veno-venous extracorporeal membrane oxygenation or VV-ECMO machine to support his lungs. National Heart Institute IJN in a statement said the doctors had removed the machine yesterday after viewing the fireman's progressive development and clinical improvement. The statement also said that Adib has made great progress over the last 72 hours and is able to communicate via a whiteboard with his family and healthcare providers. He, however, continues to require respiratory support with a ventilator and a dialysis machine. IGN added that rehabilitation exercises will be intensified to improve the fireman's muscle power and strength for his upper and lower limbs. Now, police have ascertained the identities of the 6 victims who were killed in a fire at a shop house in the Puncak Jelapang Maju industrial area in Meru, Ipoh yesterday. It is believed that 5 of the 6 victims, all teenagers, were friends from the same village. The teenagers, Muhammad Nur Ikram Muhammad Husni, 15, Muhammad Iqbal Izzuddin Muhammad Kamari, Muhammad Nuraiman Abdul Rahman and Ahmad Faisal Aminuddin, all 16, were all believed to have taken up part-time jobs at the shop, while Muhammad Azhar Shah Rosli, 19, was the only one working there full-time. Now, also killed in the fire was P. Thiagarajan, 40, who is the owner of the shop and company. Based on previous eyewitness accounts, there was a series of explosions before the fire outbreak at the premise, which had been in operation since over a decade ago. The case is currently being investigated under Section 304 of the Penal Code for culpable homicide not amounting to murder or causing death by negligence. A woman was stabbed to death after she was attacked by a neighbor at the Sin Chun Market Batu 16 in Rawang yesterday. Her husband was seriously injured in the incident. Yap Chun Moy, 41, was confirmed dead at the Selayang Hospital due to severe stabbing on her chest. Gombak District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Samsul Maruf said the couple were walking at Jalan Tengah in Kampung Sungai Terentang, Rawang, when a man approached them. The 49-year-old suspect, who was their neighbor, suddenly whipped out a knife and began stabbing them before fleeing the scene. Her husband managed to run for help and both of them were then brought to the Selayang Hospital before she was pronounced dead due to serious bleeding. Her husband is currently receiving treatment at the same hospital. Police managed to nab the suspect, and the case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code. 605 people from 171 families in Kota Tinggi, Johor have been evacuated to 2 flood relief centres last night after their homes were flooded due to incessant rain. They are currently taking shelter at the Kota Tinggi Vocational College Hall, which was open at 9:15 last night, and the SGKC New Kota Hall, which opened at 1 a.m. According to a spokesperson from the Kota Tinggi Disaster Management Committee, water from the rivers began to overflow into the residential areas following continuous heavy rain since 4 p.m. yesterday. However, as at 8 a.m. this morning, the water level at Sungai Pemandi had receded, although residents are not allowed to go home yet until the authorities are sure it is safe to do so. Several agencies were involved in the evacuation process, including the Police, Fire and Rescue Department and the Welfare Department. Bukit Aman Crime Prevention and Community Safety Department Director, Datuk Sri Rosli Abdul Rahman, headed the list of 317 recipients of the Darjah Kepahlawanan Pasukan Polis and Pingat Keberanian Polis from Deputy Yani Pertuan Agong Sultan Nazrin Shah yesterday. Datuk Sri Rosli was awarded the Darjah Panglima Gagah Pasukan Polis PGPP. 52 recipients were awarded the Darjah Panglima Setia Pasukan Polis, 70 the Darjah Pahlawan Pasukan Polis, 13 the Kesatria Pasukan Polis, and 181 the Bentara Pasukan Polis. Raja Pemasuri Perak Tunku Zara Salim was also present at the award ceremony held at Istana Negara in Kuala Lumpur. Others present at the event were Deputy Home Minister Dato' Muhammad Aziz Jaman, Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun, and his deputy Tan Sri Nur Rashid Ibrahim. Coming up, pension scheme restructure will affect only newly appointed civil servants. The Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, will only begin its investigation into the Tabung Haji or TH case if there is a basis to do so. MACC Chief Commissioner Datuk Sri Muhammad Shukri Abdul said this after he was asked to comment on allegations by Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Dr. Mujahid Yusof Rawah, that TH had contravened the Tabung Haji Act 1995 in its paying of dividends to depositors since 2014.
Kita SPM, kita menyiasat berdasarkan pertama, orang datang buat report pada SPM. Atau yang kedua, kita dapat maklumat sama ada daripada parlimen ataupun daripada media atau mana-mana saja. Sekiranya ada asas berlakunya corruption dan salah guna kuasa, SPM akan menyiasat. Dan sekiranya ada asas, dan kita perlu teliti maklumat berkaitan sama ada asas atau tidak untuk diadakan siasatan.
It was earlier reported that Tabung Haji has violated the Tabung Haji Act 1995 by illegally paying out dividends to 9 million of its depositors since 2014, despite showing a deficit of 4.1 billion ringgit last year. The illegal payout was discovered during an audit done on its 2017 financial account by the independent audit firm PricewaterhouseCoopers, or PwC. The government will continue to fend off all the accusations hurled at the palm oil sector, which was blamed as the leading cause of deforestation and destruction of the biodiversity. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the accusations were made as part of a strategy by the European Union, or EU, to prevent palm oil from competing at the international market.
Untuk mengatasi tuduhan ini, kerajaan telah mengambil inisiatif untuk mewujudkan skim pensijilan mampan seperti Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil (MSPO). Namun negara-negara pengimport terus berdegil dengan mengenalkan pelbagai sekatan ke atas minyak sawit. Saya ingin menegaskan, kerajaan akan terus memelihara alam sekitar.
The Premier said this when launching the B10 biodiesel program for the transportation sector at Dataran Putra in Putrajaya. Meanwhile, the launch of the B10 biodiesel program will see fuel comprising 10% palm oil biodiesel and 90% fossil diesel used by all types of diesel vehicles in the transportation sector beginning 1st of February next year. Tun Dr. Mahathir added that the B10 program will also contribute to reducing the emissions of carbon dioxide by 10% per year from the total number of diesel vehicles in the country. The restructuring of the pension scheme for civil servants will only involve newly appointed officers and not existing pensioners. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Dr. Muhammad Farid Muhammad Rafiq, said the government assured that all forms of restructuring and study on retirement benefits and pension schemes for civil servants would not affect the existing retirement benefits and facilities despite the government's financial constraints.
Semestinya yang saya katakan tadi, salah satu pertimbangan yang diambil kira oleh kerajaan adalah untuk melihat kalau kita mengadakan satu sistem contributory yang mana selain daripada KWSP itu, kalau sebelum ini dalam KWSP pekerja mencarumkan sebanyak 11% bertambah dengan lagi caruman yang diberikan oleh majikan, mungkin ada mekanisme yang boleh kita guna pakai untuk memastikan penjawatan bersama-sama men-contribute untuk skim pension ini.
As of October 2018, the government had a total of 824,235 pension recipients, with the total expenditure for the 10 months of this year alone amounting to 24 billion ringgit. Datuk Dr. Farid also said that the government was conducting a study to upgrade the civil service, while the restructuring of the pension scheme would take about 2 years to complete from 2019. The Royal Malaysian Customs Department warned that beginning January 2019, a higher fine and lengthier jail sentence awaits those involved in cigarette smuggling activities. Now, the sentence also applies to traders who sell contraband cigarettes. Customs Department Director General Datuk Sri Subramaniam Tolasi said proposed amendments to the Customs Act 1967 and the Excise Act 1976 were approved by Dewan Rakyat on Monday. He said previously the penalty for shops selling contraband cigarettes and alcohol was a fine of no less than 10 times the amount of the customs duty, which is not very high. The new amendment carries a heavier sentence with a minimum fine of 100,000 ringgit, even if the offence involves only a carton of contraband cigarettes. Datuk Sri Subramaniam further noted that in order to combat smuggling activities of cigarettes and alcohol, which has become widespread, the department has tightened the conditions to apply for import license, as well as limit the importation of cigarettes and alcohol. Now, every year, almost 1.4 billion ringgit is used to fund food and care expenses of prisoners in Sabah, of which the majority are foreigners. The Chief Justice Tan Sri Richard Malanjum hopes that ASEAN countries will be able to find a solution which includes reviewing other forms of punishment being carried out at respective countries to reduce expenditure.
Prisoners, it's a very expensive affair. So that's why I was hoping maybe we can have Asian countries arrange an exchange of prisoners so that those serving in Malaysia can serve the sentence in their own country.
Tan Sri Richard said this to reporters after delivering his keynote address at the AICHR-CACJ High-Level ASEAN Human Rights Dialogue titled The Right of Accused Persons in Criminal Cases in Putrajaya. About 55 delegates from 8 ASEAN countries and the United States are attending the 2-day dialogue event. Now, Malaysia staged a fight back from 2-0 down, but it was still not enough as Vietnam held them to a 2-2 draw and bring home the away goal advantage for the second leg showdown in Hanoi on Saturday. More than 80,000 fans saw the Tigers ripped apart by Vietnam's fast-paced counterattacks, and one of these led to the opening goal. A quick break from Vietnam in the 21st minute ripped Harimau Malaya's defence apart as Nguyen Hoi Hong capitalised on a sloppy clearance from Nazirul Naim, whose shot was deflected past goalkeeper Farizal Malias. Pham Dung Hoi made it 2-0 soon afterwards when his strike from distance gave Farizal little chance. But Malaysia found a way back into the game 9 minutes before the interval when Sharul Saad charged into the 6-yard box to head home Simon Kuti's free kick. In the second half, the Tigers continued their dominance, but Vietnam were tactically resolute and relied on quick breaks to penetrate Malaysia's defence. Malaysia were level on the hour as Safari Rasid stepped up to call a superb free kick from the edge of the area around the wall and beyond Dang Van Lam. This galvanized the home crowd as the Tigers searched for the winning goal, but the score remained locked at 2-2. Malaysia will now travel to Hanoi to play in the second leg of the final at the My Dinh Stadium on 15th of December. Later at the post-match press conference, national head coach Tan Cheng Ho said he believes the players will be able to redeem themselves and create an upset in the second leg in Hanoi despite having to settle for a draw at home.
Of course, away from home that we don't have the crowd, but definitely I know the players have been handled well, absorbed well in the away match. So definitely I think we still can upset in Hanoi.
Meanwhile, Vietnam's coach Park Hang-seo said he was a tad disappointed with his players for letting the Malaysian team recover and forcing a draw despite leading 2-0 early in the first half.
정말 우리 선수들이 훈련이 잘 싸워줬습니다. 두 골을 원정에서 넣고 세트 플레이로 두 골을 실점한 것에 대해서는 아쉽지만 또 원정에서 우리가 성적 1점을 확보하고 또 원정에서 2득점을 했다는 데 의미를 두고 다음 15일 베트남에서 하는 홈 경기에서는.
And that concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, baseless accusations aimed at hurting Malaysia's palm oil sector as part of EU's anti-competitive strategy. News on 2 will come on again at 7 this evening with more updates. Till then, I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching.